Well, we weren't worried before this weekend. A draw with Millwall was a decent result, but with wins for Pompey and Oxford, that just dragged us back into this relegation battle, and the goals have dried up again. Welcome back to Pastures Green. We've got Dan, Ben, and Aaron with us. Dean is on his holidays. Not fresh from watching that game at the weekend. Will not live long in the memory. This week we're talking about how brilliant is Diakite. Some fans are still not happy with Isaac Price, and where are the goals going to come from in our remaining 4 games of the season? Can we stay up? It's looking more and more likely. How are you, Dan? Good?
Yeah, not too bad,
Good,
mate. Yeah, it was all right. Full of chocolate, though, but yeah, it's good to have some decent football back. Well, I say decent football, but league football.
Right, are Baggies staying up? Simple question, yes or no?
Yeah, I think we've got enough to get us over that line and get the points that we need. I mean, even if we draw our way to safety, as long as we stay up, I think that's all that matters.
Yeah. Ben, you got enough? What you've seen, I mean, you were there at Blackburn, you watched Millwall. It's turgid stuff, but it's effective.
It's effective pushing it, I think, but
Right.
I think we'll just about have enough. I do think it will go to the last game, to be honest. I don't think we can keep drawing our way to safety. I think we do need to get a win, and I think that might have to wait till we play Sheffield Wednesday on the last game. Unfortunately, people have been saying if we play like this, we'll be fine, and we're plodding along. But I think plodding along only gets you so far. We should have won one of those last 3 games. Blackburn, Wrexham, Millwall. I think there should have been a win in there for us to really, cement our safety. I do think we'll have enough still, but I do think it's going to take longer than what we think. But I do think we'll have enough in the end.
Yeah. Aaron, are you worried at all, or are you Mr. Chill?
No, I'm quite confident now. I mean, look, before I say this, there's no easy game in the Championship, but we played Hull. That was a 3-0 win. We played Wrexham. That was a 2-2 draw. We played Southampton, drew 1-1, and probably should have won that game, owing to a silly mistake. We're playing quite well. Sheffield United as well, another team there we've gone to and we've got a draw from. And those 4 teams there are really in probably really good form. I mean, a lot of those are in the top end of the table. Millwall as well, not losing to them was a really good result. All of them with really good results, really good performances as well. Obviously, a few of them lacking, a bit more up front, but we haven't lost those games. We're 7 unbeaten since Oxford, and I think that's showing a lot. Since Morrison's come in, everything's changed, and it's changed for the better, and that's what we've needed. We've needed some positivity around the club, and on the pitch as well, because we've not been great before that. We broke the spell of not winning away for how long at Bristol, which was an amazing day out as well. That was brilliant. And I think that the games we're looking forward to now, Preston, Watford, Ipswich is the only one, but Sheffield Wednesday as well. And like I say, there's no easy games in the Championship, but you should be looking at those games and thinking, we're aiming for 3 points out of 3 of the 4 games there.
Okay. One player whose name's coming up time and time again, Dan, is Diakite. Outstanding performance against Millwall. Social media takes on him. Black Country Lala says Diakite was absolutely outstanding. Well-deserved point, Diakite. It's unbelievable. Take that, 7 unbeaten. Well done, Moses Beauties. Big point against a really tough side. 7 unbeaten. Let's get over the line now. Albion, just how important has he been to this Albion side?
Like when we first signed him, he was just... He wasn't the most confident of player. He didn't look like he could fit in anywhere. But since Morrison's come in now, he's just turned into like a Yusuf Malumbu sort of player. I mean, the confidence is there now. He's flowing through him, and he just looks so calm and collected on the ball now. He could have 3 blokes around him, and he'd have quick enough feet just to get himself out of trouble, play a decent pass, and he literally puts his whole body on the line. He'll jump in for tackles, winning headers and everything. He's just sort of like the complete player now, and he's been a breath of fresh air to see him actually thrive now in the middle of the park.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you Ben Cook says Diakite just wow. Although we could have won it, we cannot for a second fault the desire and the fight to win these games under Mozza. Take that point order longer position. I just think we might be all right. Yeah, do you agree on the Diakite points? And yeah, are you seeing this fight that was missing before?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Diakite has definitely been, one of the positives over the last few weeks since Morrison's come in. Previously I wasn't a massive fan of his. I always thought he had a bit of a mistake in him. But since Morrison's took over, he's looked a different player. I think his role's been simplified a little bit. He's kind of been told just to break up the play, move the ball on. He's got simplified, and that seems to be how he's thriving at the minute, which is really good. In terms of the fight, absolutely. The last 7 games since Morrison's been in charge, the fight's been there, which is something we've been crying out for all season. You can tell they're really working. But the reason we've not had the results is because of that quality. You can't fault the effort, you can't fault the fight, but the only question mark is the quality, especially the quality in the final third. I think it's 3 games since we've not scored now, and that's could be our Achilles heel, putting the ball in the net. But hopefully, the goals have come from set pieces and own goals and penalties. Hopefully, we can get the goals that way and get through the season and start again. Rebuild our kind of attacking 3 or 4 in the summer and push on.
Those fans that are still worried are pointing back to that Charlton game, Ben, and saying, "Why the hell did we give that to Ramsey? Because that would have been a 3 points, wouldn't it? If Mozza had been in charge, for example." And hindsight's a wonderful thing, but does it just highlight just how bad some of the decision making has been?
Yeah, massively. I think those 10 games under Ramsey was a complete waste. Was it 10 games? I think it was 10 games. Just a complete waste of time. Think of what the points we could have accumulated in that time under Morrison or even under Ryan Mason. To be fair, I think we'd have been way out of trouble by now. I think our season has really kind of boiled down to that decision by putting Ramsey in charge, because he tries to change things, tries to overcomplicate things, put players in positions they didn't want to play, and all those things cost us, and we're kind of backtracking now and trying to save the season.
Right, should we have some Isaac Price chat, Aaron? I know we love it on here. We go again. Price is really not very good, says Roberti Pub. I don't know what we see in him. He's got a terrible first touch. He can't go past anyone and can't finish. He offers absolutely nothing. Please give someone else a chance. I'm sure this might be Dean's burner account. That's it. I think I've got a point, Aaron, or are we being too harsh?
No, I think it is a bit too harsh. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's no smoke without fire, and a lot of the bad press he's getting is due because of a lot of he won't say a lot of bad performances, but there's times where there's just a lot of frustrating opportunities that go amiss because he's made the wrong decision. For example, like where he should have passed these shots and it's just ballooned wide, or just something daft like that. But he's only young. Like, don't get me wrong, he's this is his first breakout season probably in English football. So it's not like any other player in the team is playing amazingly well either. So it's I think we shouldn't be too harsh on him. The season's been bad overall. And I think he's kind of epitomised that at times as well, where, he's been probably one of the worst players on the pitch. But I still stick by him. I still think he's a good player. No, even with that little scuffle with the fans he had away at Portsmouth, I think that was silly for him to do. And, I think a lot of fans are probably still hurt by that and still want to use him as a scapegoat because he was so vocal about the fans having a go at him and he gave it back and so forth. But I feel like because of that as well, he's been made to be out to be a little bit of a scapegoat. And don't get me wrong, like I said, some of it is warranted, but people saying he's a terrible footballer and he shouldn't be playing is ludicrous, really, because he offers us so much more, up and down the pitch, rather than a few chances going to miss here. Like, you can kind of accept that because there's a lot more chances. And I think I read a stat the other day. He's got, I think, the 3rd most taken shots in the whole of the league of this season, which is with like 90 something, 93, I think it is. So, he's obviously taken a lot of chances anyway, and he's obviously getting himself in the right positions, which no one else seems to be doing. So if you take him away and out of the team, then where does that leave you?
Okay. Now, in the absence of Dean, Dan, are you ready to fill in and give the counter argument to that, or do you just support what Aaron's saying?
No, I mean, you look at Price, and he's definitely got something about him, but it's just unlocking that for him. I mean, I, I think the lack of goals is probably hitting him hard, and the chances that he's sort of wasting. But one thing he needs to do is sort out his crossing, his set piece taking, his corner taking, his shocking. I think it was 3 times in the Blackburn game we had free kicks in a decent position, and he couldn't even beat the first man. And then it goes to the Millwall game. He was taking corners, and again, it won't even beat the first man. I know blokes who go over the park on a Sunday morning that are still hungover from having 10 Stellas from the night before, and they can swing in a corner better than him. But he just needs to work on his set piece taking because it's shocking. Just think of the height that we've got in the box as well, and he can't even beat the first man.
Okay. Right, let's leave the Millwall game aside there. Let's look at the final 4 games as they stand then, Ben. I mean, as fixtures go, apart from Ipswich, you'd probably, if you asked you to hand pick some fixtures, you might as well pick these. Preston, absolutely nothing to play for. Can't go up, can't go down. Watford, I don't know if you've seen the reaction from their fans already towards Ed still at Oxford, but they're not happy. Not playing well. Ipswich might be promoted by then, and yeah, we all know about Sheffield Wednesday. So, yeah, I mean, you look at this and think, what, 6 points, 9 points, 8 points?
I don't know about that. I think Watford's the one. I think you can't not beat Watford at home. You know, like I said, they're not playing great at the minute, nothing to play for. Preston, I think if you can't beat Blackburn, I don't think you beat Preston. To be honest, I think do we draw there and beat Watford? You probably take that. Ipswich, they could be promoted, or that could be the game that sends them up. So that's a tricky one. Even that Sheffield Wednesday game, like I said earlier, I think if we have to go there and win, I just wouldn't back us because whenever there's pressure on us, we just seem to fold like anything. So hopefully we can avoid it going to the last game. But I honestly do think my head is saying it's going to go that way, and we might need a point there to confirm it, which I think we probably would get. To be honest, I don't think we'd lose there, but. Saying that it'll be their last game of the championship, they'll probably sell out. They'll be, up for it as they always are. They got a good result at Coventry at the weekend, so it's not a foregone conclusion to win there. But I think that if you win that Watford game, I think you'd probably be okay. Because looking at the other fixtures and the other teams who they've got, I think they won't pick up many points either. So I think it all comes down to that Watford game, to be honest.
How many points do you think is going to be needed for safety? I mean, this weekend Pompey play Leicester, which is obviously huge for both of them. If they beat Leicester, that's probably then done, isn't it? I'd imagine. And then how many points? I mean, Charlton on 49 at the moment. Do you think 49 is safe?
I think Charlton are okay at the minute. Yeah, I think they're. Yeah. People saying they're going to get dragged in, but I think they'll be okay. I think it's, as you say, it's Leicester, Oxford, or Portsmouth, isn't it?
So you think 50? Will 50 do it? Do you think? So
I think 50 is what every team in the bottom end, who's expecting to be in the bottom end of the championship, aims at the start of the season. I think 50 is a good number to aim for, and if we were to get 50, I think that would definitely keep us up. But like I say, there's a lot of teams around us that are picking up points. Portsmouth, to name one, we've got a really good result against Borough away. That they're, in my opinion, they're our biggest threat at the moment. If one team is to go down, because I think Leicester are a foregone conclusion now. I think it's going to be close between us, Oxford, and Portsmouth as well.
Let us know your thoughts on all of this. Of course, we'll be at Preston and we'll review that with you next week as we travel to Deepdale this weekend. We were doing the A to Z of baggies, of course, up to letter W, so we'll get onto that in a second. But first, we're also doing our end of season awards in a bit of a strange way this year. We did the goal of the season last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. We're on our Young Player of the Season award this week. So, simple question for you all. Which I know it's been a dodgy period for them all. But is there a young player of the year we can give here, Dan?
Probably the only one really that we can sort of give it to is Ollie Bostock, even though we've hardly seen much of him. I mean, he bagged a goal a few weeks ago, so, and he's the only one really that's really stood out, to be honest, or young player wise, anyway.
Okay.
How old's Callum Stars? He class is young. He's like 23, 24. We're calling that young.
I think we're allowed to call 23 young, aren't we?
Yeah, so maybe he's a shout. But in terms of like youth player and teenage players, Ollie Bostock is the only one, isn't he? Really, like I said, we've only seen him about 3 times, but when he has played, he's been decent, and hopefully we'll see a bit more of him, whether it's this season or next season. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron, we're not putting Isaac Price in here as for out of spite, or
he's got a shout, but again, like maybe Josh Griffiths as well. I mean, he's played a lot of important games this season, and he's made some good important saves. So you could mention him as well, but obviously he's been replaced as well, so that kind of leaves a bit of a bad taste in your mouth. So there's a lot of debate there. I think in terms of players who are primarily youth players and have come through this season, it will be Bostock. But I think for players who are generally just young, in my opinion, it is Griffiths, because he's played probably the best in what he's done in the time he's been given.
Callum Stars is 26, by the way, so I don't think we can.
I did
had to just double check.
Okay. Right. And now we're also looking for the fan of the year. So if you know someone who has maybe, driven you up and down the country to every single game and needs a shout out, let us know in the comments. We'll read some of these out in our final show of the season. And if you're a Baggies fan that is international or watches this and watches every game, I don't know, maybe you've travelled a million miles or something to watch the Baggies for a game this season, then let us know. We'll give you a shout out in the comments as well. Right. Letter W then, please. Should be a straightforward one, I'd imagine. Who's got something for W? You can't put West Brom in it.
Struggling for this one.
I struggle with W as well,
yeah. I thought, no, Williams.
This is very Miss Dean.
Yeah,
He's probably got someone from way back when.
Oh, wait a minute. He did send a suggestion, didn't he? Let me have a look. What do you ever think? Graham Williams, there we go. Our greatest ever skipper. He lifted the League Cup and FA Cup. He also captained Wales. Well, thanks, Dean.
There you go.
There we go.
Thank you.
Right, lazy. Right, okay. Now, do your homework for next week. You're on to letter X. Now we're going to allow any surname that has X anywhere in the surname, not even at the start of it, could be at the end, or even in the first name. Let us know the best player with an X in their name for West Brom next week after the Preston game. Right, thank you very much, you three. Have a good week. Good to see you back. I don't think West Brom are going anywhere. Well, fingers crossed anyway. I'd hate to think it comes down, Ben, to that final game this season, because
we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure Wednesday is selling them tickets for £10 or £15 or something. I'm sure they're trying to sell it out. So,
yeah, that'd be buzzing.
Yeah, we don't want that. Right, thanks so much for watching. Thank you. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, you know what to do. Press the subscribe button and give us a like as well. We'll catch you next week. Only 3 more to go. Catch you then.